Hey guys, this is JR with Helms Polyfoam. Thanks for stopping by for another tip corner. It's not the official title, but it's the one we're trying out until we can decide on one that we like better. Open to suggestions. If you're just stopping by though, this is a time where we are going to go through frequently asked questions. We may do some employee interviews. We might even do some live demos of our material and a job. So if you've got any suggestions that you want to see, please drop us a comment, let us know. Today we're going to have an educational section where we go through a couple of different types of polyurethane resins that we use for our repairs. So sometimes in our industry the word polyurethane gets thrown around synonymous for lots of different repairs using polyurethane or chemical grouting. And there's sometimes that may be the case. You may use the same resin for a lot of different types of repairs. Oftentimes there's a pretty stark difference between different types of resins you should be using. So what do I mean by that? First off, we have expanding polyurethane resins. So these are used for picking up driveways, filling voids, some soil stabilization work, maybe some quick emergency type leak seal, high flow leak seal when we really need to get that stopped. But the basis of this starts off as two liquids, an A and a B, for lack of a better term, that will mix together at the gun that's used for injection. Once these mix, a chemical reaction takes place and these liquids expand to create this right here, this foam. It's very lightweight, but very, very strong. Supports about 14,000 pounds per square foot in a free-rise state and only weighs 3.5 pounds per cubic foot. For comparison, concrete weighs 150 pounds-ish per cubic foot. So very lightweight, but very strong. And again, two liquids mixed together under your concrete to expand and pick it up. So that's expanding resin, okay? Permeating polyurethane resin. This was a cup of sand prior to permeation. We wanted to show you what's going on below the soil. So this is a cup of just plain sand that we permeated with polyurethane resin. The difference in the expanding and the permeating, the expanding is what we call a two-part, a plural component. It has an A and a B that mix together. This is a single component. It has one part that mixes with a catalyst, and we can control the percentage of catalyst, the reactor, to control how fast or slow this sets up. So right off the bat, you can see the biggest difference is this is a foam, and this is just hard soil. See, just really, really hard soil. So the resin here works its way through soil properties, assuming it's permeable, and turns your soil into just a rock-hard, water-impermeable surface, okay? Not really any foam that comes off of this material from a structural standpoint. So we're using this more for, let's say we have some weak soil that's under a building, the building's settled, we may could create some columns underneath to stop it from moving, or maybe you want to stop a leak that's getting towards a basement or towards a catch basin. So that's one that's very, very common. Sinkholes around catch basins due to water infiltration through the pipe joint. We can go in, because of the design of this chemical, can chase the leak through whatever structure's leaking, stop it from going through the concrete, seal it off there, and then goes back through the soil behind it to turn it into this substance, this rock-hard, water-impermeable barrier. Now, could you stop a leak with expanding? Sure. Here's the kicker, though. That expanding resin, it's so rigid that water could find its way around there in the future, and it's a lot more likely that would happen than if you were to use a permeating polyurethane resin. A couple of other ways you could use this would be sealing up a retaining wall where water's flowing through and pulling soil under the toe of that retaining wall. You can go in and lock that together. Or again, if you've got a subgrade basement that's got some leaks going through it, this is such a low viscosity material, we can not only chase the leaks throughout the substrate, but we would create a secondary wall, if you will, out of this behind that basement wall to relieve the hydrostatic pressure of the water against the wall. So lots of different options. I could nerd out talking about all of them that we could do, but the biggest thing is you need to know there is a difference in polyurethane resins, and they all have their place for a repair at which they excel. So do not take them all as being the same, and just make sure and be educated on what your project is and what type of resin it should be using. If you've got any questions, please feel free to give us a call, shoot us an email, drop us a comment on whatever platform you're watching this on. We'd love to talk through those with you. Thanks for stopping by.